So welcome to Stimulate Your Brain with Yoga with Sigrid Strebe from Transitions Yoga. As you know, if you've been to these programs before, AARP works to improve the lives and empower those 50 plus to live their best lives. We've been doing that for 60 years, and we're going to keep doing it as long as we can. And of course, health and wellness is really vital to that work. Yoga is a wonderful way to keep your body and your brain healthy and vital. It's for everyone, every shape and size. And I think today, stretch and strength yoga, stimulate your brain. We all need our brain stimulated, especially deep in midwinter. I'm really excited about this one. This program is being recorded and you will be able to watch it again on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/AARPND. So you can always keep practicing. And remember to check with your doctor before you begin any new exercise regimen. And with that, I am going to turn it over to the ever effervescent and flexible and exciting Sigrid Strebe to stimulate our brains. Sigrid, take it away and thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Marnie, and also thanks to AARP for inviting us to do this series. It's been a pleasure, and this is the one that I have been waiting for and I'm super excited about. If you're wondering what stimulate your brain means, it means that our brain is made out of two hemispheres or two sides of our brain. And what we're used to doing is everything just like in the same plane, never crossing what's considered the midline. That's the center of the body. So what that does, as soon as I take my hand from my right hand to my left leg, the communication from my left side of my brain has to move over to my right side of the brain. So it's finding this crossing midline, not only through the physical body, but in this brain and then the neuroscience behind that. It helps stimulate your brain. And as we do, it's important for kids to learn how to do that, to stimulate their brain. But as we take more trips around the sun, we also need this same stimulation. Our body starts to get caught in these tracks. And so our aim today is to help you kind of find these places to cross the body, stimulate your brain, and keep it young and vital. All right, so let's get started. We'll be starting, you can either start, I'm starting on the floor. I got myself on a little pillow and some blocks to support my knees. If you want to start on not a high chair, because that's not what we're talking about, just a chair, regular old chair. You can do this, most of this entire practice from your chair. There are a few standing things, but again, you can do most of this from your chair at any time. So let's get started in that easy seat. And as always, we start with the most important part of the practice, is breath. So I want you to just take a moment, kind of get comfortable, whether your legs are crossed or your legs are extended, finding this little spot and kind of just roll through the spine to start with, right? We're used to maybe sitting a little bit slumped, but just finding these small circles with the spine. And as you start to move through those, we'll start to take them just a little bit wider, bringing the shoulders online, starting to find some movement there. And from here, start to bring it back into center, making those circles a little smaller, and then find the middle. And then here's the fun part, other side. So rolling other direction here. Taking those circles a little deeper, rolling through shoulders, and even just this simple movement, changing direction, you might notice different qualities happening in the body. Start to bring it back into the middle. Winding that spine up and winding it down is just kind of that sensation of just like bringing the energy back in. So from here, we'll take the hands, let's bring palms up. It's a little bit more energizing to have the palms facing up. It's that just soft gesture to receive. And then let the elbows come down to the sides. Notice what happens with the shoulders. Your ears and your shoulders are not magnets, so this should not be happening. If you can find a way to gently release shoulders over time, doesn't have to happen right away today. Soften through the shoulder blades, and then feel the bottom of the ribs gently pulled back just a little bit and over the top of your pelvis, okay? This might not happen right away today. As we find more strength in the front, we also find strength in the back, and then you'll find that over time, you'll be able to find this nice tall seat. Now, from here, take a deep inhale through the nose. Open your mouth, release, let go, and then exhale. Make it audible. Draw the breath in through the nose again. And exhale, maybe even just a little ah to it. One more breath in this same space. Draw the breath in through the nose. Feel the ribs start to expand, bottom of the ribs expand, maybe even just a little push through the belly. Take an extra sip of air. And then slow release, open the mouth, exhale. And softly seal the lips together. Try not to squeeze your teeth as you move into this, clenching the jaw, but keeping the jaw soft. Lips simply softly coming together. And see if you can move that inhale and exhale through the nose. Okay. What this does is it internally warms the body, but you can also hear the sound of your breath, and it becomes that kind of like meditative sound for yourself. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And exhale. Continue with that breath, feeling the breath come in. And you'll notice that the shoulders are not pumping the breath in and out, but you're taking the inhale. And then that release and exhale. And shoulders are staying pretty level here. Soften the eyes where it feels safe. I won't take you too far without letting you know when to open them back up. Take a moment to relax. And exhale. We'll start to flutter the eyes open. Feel the lift through the crown of the head again, maybe a little lift through the center of the body. And from here, we'll take this right arm out to the side. From here, you're rolling the thumb up toward the ceiling and then feeling the shoulder kind of expand and open. We'll sweep the hands back where you can. So for some of you, it's just a simple slide a little bit, and others might be able to bring it back a tiny bit further, okay? And again, try to keep shoulders even here. Then we'll take this right hand, bring it up into the left shoulder. So you're crossing that center, and then take a little twist over to the left side. Slowly return to center, letting this right hand release. And then in fact, bring it back on to the top of the leg. Release and find a little bit of movement. Then let the left hand move out to the side. And again, rolling the thumbs up, because as soon as you take your thumb forward or palm down, the shoulder rolls forward and you start to find the slumping sensation. So roll on up, feel the lift, and then gently slide back to the edge. You'll feel this little bounce back, and you shouldn't have to engage your face to do this, but sliding your left hand back. Feeling that range of motion. Be mindful of where you are. And then taking this left hand over to the right shoulder, pressing into this right hand, and then just take a gentle twist over to the right side. Bring it back into the middle, release that left hand, curl the hands around the tops of the legs, bring the chin into the chest and round the spine. And if your legs are extended, you're just pressing into the thighs here. Pull up and through. And round the spine, bring chin to chest. Got a little tickle in the back of my throat today. Lift on up again. And round the spine, bring chin to chest. And then pull up and into center. Start to lift the hands out to the side and see if you can bring the shoulders and the fingertips even. Now, if your shoulders don't allow for that, this is also a perfect space to hang out. But from here, take your hands either to the tops of the shoulders, behind the head, and maybe just feel this gentle lift up and in through the crown of the head. Now, where it's available, your shoulders might be, elbows might be forward, or shoulders might be extended out to the sides, parallel to the sides of the room. From here, just take a little twist over to the left-hand side. Bring your right elbow down toward the left knee. And it can be just as simple as just like put up here. And some of you are going to be able to touch down. And we'll lift on up. We'll see what happens on this side. Each side might be a little different. And then the left side over to the right. Might be easier in a chair if your legs aren't crossed or if your legs are extended. And then over, right hand over to left. Inhale, lift that elbow. And take it over to the other side. How's your spine feel? Lift. And again, your range of motion as you bring right elbow to left knee. expand up, and then one more time, left elbow over to this right side. And then bring it up and into center. From here, take your thumbs and then you'll feel just the very base of your skull. There's almost like a little special, it's called the occipital, and you're kind of lifting up and into that space. Kind of extend, and then slowly bring your chin into your chest. And again, range of motion might be as simple here, especially if you've got any neck things happening, or you might be able to round the spine a bit and bring the chin deeper into the chest. Lift and extend up. Release the hands, rotate through the shoulders, release the hands, or the roll through the wrists. And if you are seated in this crisscross shape, you'll reach under the knees and let the knees come up, creating just a, and if you're using blocks, set them to the side, planting the feet on the floor and finding just a little movement through spine, any release that you need to find here, and then bring your chin into your chest. So now you might feel that you have a little more range of motion in this seated cat-cow. Right, round the spine. Bring the hands up and overhead. Let the shoulders release down and away from the ears. Take this right hand to the left knee. So you're crossing again through midline. Bring the left hand either to the side or behind you and gently roll your left shoulder back. Now feel the length as you lift through the posture first and then start to bring the shoulder back. Think of it less of trying to like push yourself into a twist than expanding. You're expanding through the chest instead. Now, if you'd like to add to this, you can take your gaze over your front shoulder. You might notice this expansion or sensation through the neck. And again, be mindful of your own neck, know where your limits are. Feel the breath here. And bring the neck into neutral. So gaze between the shoulders, let the hands rise, lift toward the center, adjust where you need to through the hips. Bring the right hand behind, left hand to the top of the right shin. Start to roll your right shoulder back, and then where it's available, gaze comes over front shoulder, okay? You might notice tension in different spaces or be surprised on how one side finds more rotation or movement than the other. Just be aware of that's where that's at. And over time, that might start to even out, or it might shift sides even. One more breath here. Bring the gaze into neutral, so move the neck into neutral, and then start to bring your right shoulder toward the front of the mat, parallel with the tops of the legs. And one more time, we'll round through cat, and then lift it up through cow. Okay, just so you know, I'm probably going to be a liar, and we might do cat cow again. So one more time might not really be one more time. Coming into your neutral here. Where it's available, you'll pull this left leg in just a little bit. I'm actually going to move off my cushion. Pull this left leg in, and you'll keep this right knee bent. So if you're on a chair, you might just kind of tuck it underneath your chair, if that's where you're at. And from here, you'll start to bring your right hand behind you and then gently move into this twist. If this bothers your hip or your knee, you can bring a block underneath the leg and then find your twist on this side. Start to bring it into center and then move that twist over toward the bent leg. So that's one that's the heels pulled in. Bring it back into center, extend the legs. And if you're in a chair, you'll just extend your legs and bring your hands to your thighs and maybe fold forward. If you're on the floor, you'll take a little swizzle side to side, hands come to shins, press up and away. Full posture can be here. And if you have the space to come forward, that's great, but full posture might be best. Just coming into shins and gently sliding forward. You're trying to keep your back mostly straight. Right, pull up and into center. From here, keeping your left knee bent, so up, take your right knee out to the side and tuck that heel under just a little bit. Nope, not today. Okay, lift. It was just kind of a little test for myself also. And then take your left hand and your twist toward the leg that's bent up, twist, feel the breath. Take a chance to enjoy it. Not everything has to be like making things happen. Next breath, inhale. And on the exhale, slowly begin to twist out of that and over to the other side. And then back into center. Draw this left leg, extend it forward, both feet forward. Take a little lift through the seat, hands to shins, push away from the body or from the legs first. So you'll feel this lift through the spine. And for some of you, as soon as you start to find the lift, then you're like, hamstrings are fully activated and we are done. And that's perfect. And others may have space to gently slide forward. Start to roll on up, pull the heels in. We'll take a lean back and just let the legs drift side to side. Okay. Finding a little movement through the hips. And then come back into center. From here, we'll start to move into that tabletop. So if you're seated, you might want to just stay in your chair for a little bit. We'll bring the legs around. You can do cat cow. I told you there was going to be another one. Okay. Cat cow can be with hands on the blocks, hands to the floor, or if you're seated, same thing here. But thumb, pointer finger, ring finger, press into the floor, lift away, shoulder blades wide, and then take this saganosis out of the low back and kind of feel it gently lift out. Toenails push into the floor, and then pull the chin into the chest, lift. Slide the hips back just a tiny bit. And you'll feel an opening, hopefully right about here, just above that sacrum or that nice wide flat part of the back. Pull forward, let the belly come down. Imagine you can pull the chest between the biceps. And then lift on up, slide the hips back. Come into your neutral. Tuck your toes under, and we'll start to move up and into standing here. If you're using the blocks to make your arms longer, sometimes that's necessary, or whether you're just simply pressing into the floor, or you're finding an alternative way to come up to standing, feel free to join us, but here we go. Lift the hips down, dog. Pedal the feet out, side to side. Listen for the crackly bones. And from here, gaze forward between your hands and find your way up to the top of your mat. Okay, I'll be turning sideways so that you can get a better view, but you're coming here. Remember, making your arms longer, helping make your hamstrings a tiny bit longer by simply using blocks, books, cans, whatever you have. And then from here, imagine your ribs, the bottom of your ribs could kind of connect into the top of your thighs. To do that, especially if your low back or your hamstrings are tight, you'll bend your knees, hang out here. Maybe it's forearms to the legs. Maybe it's here you can hang out. Maybe it's here, wherever that is for you. Don't even have to have your head down. All right. Squeeze your heels slightly together. Bring your hands to the tops of the thighs. Feel the chest lift. Straighten the legs. Reach towards sky. Thumbs in the heart center. Finding yourself firmly on the floor. Imagine your heels could be right underneath your shoulders. So this long line down the outside edge of your body, shoulders down to heels. Take the palms, roll them forward, and feel the sensation of just kind of like, oh, lifting and expanding. Now from here, we'll take your right hand over to your left shoulder. Take your left hand, bend the knees, and reach down to your, this is even me, left hand down to your right knee. There you go. Then take your right hand, reach down to the left knee, release, and bring right hand up to left shoulder. We will do it right at the hips. Now again, release, open, right hand to left shoulder, left hand to right hip. That's easier to reach. Then you'll release this right hand, bring it down to the left hip, release, and then left hand, right shoulder. Release, and let the hands rise. Soft bend in the knees, forward fold. I have to do it 10 times fast. Halfway lift, forward fold, and then sweep the hands up toward the sky. Reach and expand. Release the hands. Take your right leg, and we'll take right leg over left, okay? For some of you, right leg over left might look like you've got the block here. Oh, don't be that aggressive. Planting the foot here on the block, and then you can hang out here if that feels better, easier through the hips. I T-band this area, or you can just take right leg over left, okay? Feel how that is for you. And then from here, we'll take this right leg, lift the toes, kind of point forward, and then rotate out to the right side, or yes. Take right leg, bring it over left. See if you can sink the hips back. You don't have to sink, lift, and then rotate out. And then bring it around and sink. Okay, the real test comes with that ability to take this right leg, and then without looking, I'm cheating, I'm looking at the camera, without looking, see if you can swing it around behind you over to the other side, making that full arc. Bring it up, out to the side, across where you can. Bring it over, and then play with where your range of motion is here. If you feel like, push into a wall, push whatever you need to. That's what they're made for, right? Keep your house up, keep you up. Bring it around, and then one more time, behind. And then come into neutral. And then shake this leg out because you're like, what the heck just happened? Come into your neutral spine here, move some things out of the way. Extend, reach on up. And then just play with bringing this left leg over right. See what that feels like for you, okay? See where that range of motion is for you. Maybe you play with that block underneath your foot, but hang out here. Now, as you take your right leg out to the side, play with that, bring it across. Maybe you add in the little curtsy in the center. That is my terrible accent. And then bring it out. I have a friend that's English and she's like, not even close. Then bring it across. Over to the side. All right, here we go. Let's try that full movement. Taking it out to the side. Take a little pause if you need to. Find the strength in this standing leg. And then slide this right leg behind you. Okay, so you might notice the range of motion feels different. And then bring it around. I had to use my tongue for this one. And then out to the side. Behind. Over and across. Slow it down where you need to. So I might do 5 and you can do 3. That's perfect for me. I'm not counting for you. As you can tell, I've already lost count. And then bring it out to the side. Step into center. And then whatever you need to do just to find a little release through the legs. Find the middle. And here's a stretch or a movement that helps you find all those things across midline, but also gives that full body stretch or lengthening through this special little tissue we have called fascia from the heels of your feet up and into your neck. So we'll take right hand. That one goes under your armpit. Oof, right? Left hand, how do you know if you're North Dakota? Over to your right shoulder. You'll take right leg over left here. Okay, and again, your posture, your right leg over left might look more staggered, or you can bring it across. Just find where that full range of motion is for you. Now from here, you'll take your chin, bring it over your left shoulder. So you're turning whatever leg is on top, that's the direction that you're turning your chin. Okay, from here, wait for it, but wait, there's more. You'll take this right shoulder and start to swing it behind you. Full stretch here. Remember to find your breath. We'll take a deep inhale through the nose. And then like you're gonna blow out a candle, exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. One more inhale. Then big exhale. Slowly release out of the twist, bringing your neck into neutral, releasing the arms, releasing the feet. And the kids these days do the flossing. So we'll do something similar, but it's just moving your arms side to side, kind of front to back, swinging, finding a little release, okay? See how far you can swing around to the other side. Come back into your neutral, take a little sway of the hips, plant your right foot this time. We'll take your left hand under the right armpit. Move that a little bit. Take your right hand to your left shoulder. Then we'll take the left leg over the right foot. Okay, with me so far? Left leg over right, left hand under, right arm on top. Then you'll take your chin over to your right shoulder, all the way over. And remember, your simple twist here might be just a little tiny bit. Take an inhale, or it might be a tiny bit deeper as you twist. Now, inhale through the nose and exhale like you're blowing out that candle. Inhale, exhale. One last one, deep inhale. Exhale. And slowly release to center. Release the hands, unbind the feet, and then that little twist. How you feel? All right, back into center. Let the palms come forward. Let the hands rise toward the sky. Soft bend in the knees. We'll just do a little forward fold here, just to open up to the back of the legs. A half sun salute is what it's called. We'll be doing. Push into hands, lift halfway. Let the hands slide down the legs. Soft bend in the knees, hands rise towards sky, reach. Thumbs right back into the center. One more, just to find connection with breath and movement. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let the hands rise, sweep towards sky. Right back into center. Step your, you'll be at the top of your mat here. We'll take your right leg, step it back, and then roll your toes. So all of your toes are pointing toward the long side of your mat here. Take a little shimmy side to side, feeling that movement through the hips, but also movement through the knees. And it might be just this for you, but just find whatever movement you have. Maybe it's that rolling sensation also. Come into the middle and pull the heels into the center a little bit, okay? So the toes are pointing toward the top or the corners of your mat. Here's what you're moving toward. And it can be a little stance like this. Some of you might be able to move wider. All of those are perfect. From here, feel the heels push into the ground and then bend the knees. And again, you might be here, or you might have this deeper sensation of dropping, coming down into it. We'll goddess squat as you hang out here, little sumo squat. And then lift and straighten the legs. This time we'll add the arms into it. Bring your left hand to your left hip, bend the knees, take your right hand, and you'll reach and you'll come across the center here, taking your right hand to your left knee, push, bend the legs, and then find your gentle twist. Lift down up, let this right arm come out, extend the left, bring the right hand to the right hip, take the left hand across the body. None of this has to be fast movement. You can hang out here. Full posture might be just here, or hand to the leg, bend into the legs, and then maybe you can slide into it. You should be able to breathe in the postures. Then lift on up, expand. So you can come back into this gentle over to the side, or if you want to add a little bit more to it, you can bring the hands up and into behind the head, just like we did before, thumbs into that little notch in the back of the head, elbows back, sink in to your little sumo squat here. See what they do today. And we'll take this right elbow and you can bring it down toward left knee. Slow lift to center. Remember, you can just use your hands and come across. Left elbow, right knee. Lift on up. One more time, right elbow, left knee. And up, left elbow, right knee. And up. Release, straighten your legs. Hands come to the hips. Heel toe the feet into center. And then just take this gentle sway side to side. Okay, let's come back to that crossover, bringing the hands up, your feet underneath your hips. We'll see if we can move into this just a tiny bit faster. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, ready? Right hand, left shoulder, left hand, right hip, right hand, left hip, left hand, right shoulder. Bring it on up, right shoulder, right hand, left shoulder, left hand, right hip, right hand, left hip, left hand, right shoulder, right, here we go, right hand, left shoulder, left hand, right hip, right hand, left hip, left hand, right shoulder, right hand, left shoulder. Give yourself a hug. Oh, and then release the arms, reach up. Okay, play with that. And sometimes you might even just need to write it on a little piece of paper and be like, and use your tongue to move everything. But we'll take this right arm, bring it forward. So you're bringing the right arm forward. We'll take the left arm on top of that. So you're crossing the arms is really what's happening here. And some of you, here's where we start. We start hands just to the shoulders. Maybe that's where your range of motion is. Others might be able to cross over or past the elbows and bring it in. Others might be able to bring the palms of the hands together. And still others might be able to scissor open a little bit and then bring the palms together, if you can see that. Okay. Now, these are called elephant arms or ready for a posture called eagle. From here, we'll do it the easier way though, without crossing the legs, is we'll just sink the hips back. Okay, first time through, we'll just sink the hips back. And again, full posture might be here, eagle might be here. Okay, and then we'll start to rise up. For those of you that would like to try it and you feel comfortable in your balance, you can take your right leg over your left. It can be as simple as here. Maybe you can, let's see if that new guy does this. There we go. Bring it back. Okay, lots of crisscross applesauce here. And then lift, release the arms. Oh, high. And then elbows under ribs. Shake it out. Come into center. And same thing on the other side. You know what's happening. One side might be easier, so don't judge before you start. Take your left hand forward. Bring your right hand on top. And again, it can be as simple as just the ability to touch your shoulders. Sometimes breasts and bellies get in the way, and so this is what we have space for. Sometimes you can cross elbows over and shoulders or back of the hands or palms together, feeling that strength. Feel the hips press back, so it's not just bend your knees forward, it's let your hips come back. So it's a different movement, and then hang out here in your variation of eagle. Are you still finding that deep, strong breath? We'll let the arms release. Come on up. And then left arm under, right arm on top. Same thing. Then you'll take, left arm under, right arm on top. Find your variation. Boop, 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 all the way in. Okay. And then you'll take left leg over right. And again, it can be legs stacked and you sink the hips back. That's usually kind of a little bit harder because it's a very narrow path. It's like standing on a rope. Maybe you can stick over left over right or a little higher and sink into your eagle. Or plant both feet, sink your hips back. Beautiful. Lift. Also can be, all those can be done with the arms while you're in a chair. Also lift. Oh, hi. Swan dive forward, so that deep fold forward. Feel the chest lift halfway and start to make your way down to the floor here. I'll be using the blocks to step back. If you want to find another way, if you need a chair, whatever you need to find your way down to the floor, you can follow me or find a variation. Always the case. Hands to the blocks. Walk your feet back. I mean, who doesn't love a good plank once in a while? And then start to bring your feet all the way through. Extend the legs. Hi, you're back to seated. All right. Finding this seat, coming back to your chair if you were using a chair, and then hands to shins, lift, forward fold. Roll on up. We'll take this left foot, draw the heel in toward the bottom, and where it's available. So your twist might involve just hanging out here, or your twist might involve bringing this left leg over the top of the right, okay? I wanna go this way, so we're here. Now, if you're here, that takes more expansion through the side of the leg, and your twist might require you to hang out just simply here. Or, so this can be a full twist, you're just moving toward that bent leg, right? Or you're taking your right arm, bringing it to the outside edge, or your hand to the outside edge of this left leg, and then moving into your twist. Shoulder, remember shoulder comes back. It's harder to twist from a spine that feels like this than it is to just find this length first, okay? That's the first place, play with that and bring it around. One more inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let the breath lift you and bring you back into the center. Extend this left leg, shake it out a little bit. Draw the right leg in. And twist might be from here, but if you have the space to do it and it feels good for you, you'll take your right leg over your left. I'll switch so you don't get to see the back of my head, and then find your gentle twist, drawing right shoulder back. So if your right leg is across, that's the direction you're turning toward. One more breath here. Slow release into center. Extend the right leg. Just release just a tiny bit. And allow for this opening through the hip. So we'll pull the feet up, feel the knees bent. Where it feels like you've got the space, you'll bring the soles of your feet together. And it's called butterfly or cobbler pose. Your pose might look like this, hardly any rotation through the hips, if that's what your hips call for. And for others, you might be able to roll them out to the sides. Okay, and others still might be able to let the knees drift all the way down to the floor. I'm gonna hang out with some blocks, okay? Now, as you're here, the body wants to kind of slump into it. So we'll lift up, adjust through the seat where you need to. Feel that expansion, that lift, and then just take your right hand to your left ankle and bring the left hand behind. Lift, extend, left hand to right ankle. Lift, and right hand to left ankle. Lift, and over to the other side, so left hand, right ankle. And then one more time through that same movement, whether it's just to here, and I come across left hand, right ankle. Into center. Heel toe feet out to the sides. Move your blocks to the side if you need to. Take a lean back wherever you are. If you're on your chair, you'll reach behind you or to the sides and just let your knees, your benders, slide side to side. Just a little bit of movement here. All right, come into center. If you feel safe and it works for you, you'll start to roll down and onto the floor. If not, you can still remain seated, maybe prop yourself up against a wall if you'd like, or you can remain in your chair. That is also perfect. But we'll pull, keep the knees bent as you come down to the floor. Take that little swish of the legs side to side. And from here, let your left leg rise up toward the sky. So you're feeling this kind of just lift, you're extending your left leg is really all you're doing. So take your left ankle above your right knee. Okay, you might be here, maybe you have this ability to roll out to the side depending on your mobility through the hip. Others still might be able to draw this right leg in, reach behind the leg. Others might be able to draw it closer. Nope, not today. It's experiments for all of us, right? Every day testing where the body is at and being okay where it's at for that day. And then slowly release that right foot down to the floor, so the one that's closest to the mat. Lift the left leg up and then kick that right heel up to meet it. So you're basically, if you're seated, you're just lengthening through the legs. Then you'll take this left leg, bring it back down to the floor. Take this right ankle above the left knee, hang out here. And again, you might be able to hang out here with just the leg drifting to the side, or draw the leg up and in toward the chest. And hang out on this side. Let the knee come into center if you were able to splay it out to the side. Kick right heel toward the ceiling. Bring the left leg up to meet it. Maybe you can reach simply behind the hamstrings or the back of the thighs. Maybe you have really long arms. Some of us feel like we have T-Rex arms, but can't quite reach the toes. But if you can reach your toes, you can hang out there. Let the heels come down toward the bottom. Feet come down to the floor. And if you're seated, it's just feet on the floor. Well, I'll just let those legs drift side to side again. Now, take your right hand over, you'll pull your left knee in towards your chest. So right hand to left leg. Gently pull the leg in, and you'll take your left arm out to the side. I'll show you on this side, it'll look like this, okay? If you can, you'll plant your left hand on the floor, and you'll just let this leg drift across center, okay? If I'm here, it'll come across. And slowly bring it back into the middle. Up, pulling the leg in, left hand to right knee, right arm goes out to the side. And the movement might be just as simple, just like a little tiny lift, or pressing this hand down on this right side, shoulder remains on the ground, and then bringing the leg all the way over. So full range of motion is depending on where you're at. And just so simple here is also perfect. In the center. Okay, bring it back to the middle. Feel your feet on the floor. And everybody's favorite, the reason we showed up was for our brain, but also for the baby nap at the end. Draw the legs in toward the chest and let the knees roll in a circle here. Okay, see if you can independently move them. So let's play with this. Take your right leg and you'll pull your right knee in toward your chest, roll the knee out to the side, and then let it move forward. Okay, so you're making a circle here on this side. Okay, stick with me, stick with me. Now, settle into that. Let it hang out. Now take your left leg, push it forward. Roll out to the side, then bring it into the chest. Okay, so now you found that circle. Okay, roll the right leg in, round the circle, pull the left leg out. So see if you can do them at the same time. It's like that tap your head, rub your belly situation. Okay, now here's the fun part. You ready? Settle into center, pull the left leg in, right leg forward. So you're gonna opposite sides, and then roll out to the sides, pull into the middle. If you cut my tongue off for this one, nothing's happening. Legs aren't going anywhere, okay? You might not see it, but it's working hard on the inside of the mouth. There we go. Okay, how did that feel? Easier in one direction than the other. We'll settle into the center. Oh, pull the legs in just a little bit toward the chest. Let the legs come up and then the knees go wide. Okay, your happy baby might be legs behind, hands behind the legs. It might be hands to shins, or you might be able to reach your big toes, soles of your feet. Okay, and it might look like this. Let's see where I'm at. There we go. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. side to side. Settle into center, then let the heels come down toward the bottom. Take a big inhale, open your mouth, exhale. Now, as always, we'll start to find your Shavasana, and that's just a simple place to allow yourself to rest. It can be feet flat on the floor, knees drift to center. If you're in a chair, it's just feeling your feet on the floor, or you can extend the legs toward the front of the room. Feet come a little bit wide. If you're watching this as the recording, you might want to just set a little timer for yourself for maybe 5 minutes so that you can actually rest. While we're here for the live class, we'll just take a few breaths just to connect to ourselves. So you'll take your left hand to your center of your chest, right hand to the low belly. Feel the breath come in through the nose. Feel the belly lift and then exhale. Thank yourself and your body for all of the beautiful work that it did today. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. One more breath here, deep inhale. Slow exhale. And you can either remain reclined here, or if you'd like to join us back in seated, we'll take a little roll through wrists and ankles. Extend and stretch into those spaces of the body that feel maybe a little tight. We'll pull the heels up toward the bottom, planting feet on the floor. Taking this right arm out to the side, rolling over to the right, pressing left hand into the mat. And start to lift yourself up to seated. And again, you can be crisscross. I'm going to hang out here with just legs extended for this time. Take a little breath here, feeling the body just connect from the heels of the feet to the crown of the head. And then let the fingertips rise. And as the palms come together, we'll just let the thumbs rest at the space between the eyebrows as a simple reminder that may your thoughts bring you wisdom. Thumbs will float to the lips. May your words speak truth. And then thumbs come into heart center. It's that reminder that may our actions continually show compassion. And from my heart to you, to yours, wishing you the most beautiful of days and that ability to maybe just take a few of those simple and maybe not so simple movements through those cross brain exercises and play with them. So thank you so much for having me in your home and wishing you the best of the days. Beautiful day. There we go.
Thank you so much, Sigrid. As always, you have brought it fully and my brain feels stimulated. And so thank you, Sigrid Strebe with Transitions Yoga in Bismarck.